The real daughter of the family has returned, and everyone is waiting to laugh at me, the fake daughter. I said to the Xia family, since your biological daughter has come back, then I will go and find my own parents. Ridiculous. My real eldest brother will be a business tycoon in the future, and my second brother is a superstar in the entertainment industry. Having been reborn, I don't want to be a stepping stone for the real daughter in the Xia family anymore. The daughter, Xia Meng, regained her memories of her previous life in the morning and was found in the afternoon. The plot is really as tight as silk. Memories of the previous life came flooding back. In my memory, after Xia Meng was found, I was constantly on tenterhooks. I was so afraid of being kicked out that I subconsciously tried to please and cater to everyone in the Xia family, and even turned my own parents away. I was afraid that the Xia family would think I was ungrateful. However, all I didn't make my life any better. Instead, I lived on thin ice. To reassure Father Xia and Mother Xia, I took Xia Meng to school with me and helped her make new friends. She soon integrated into the noble circle of Shengming Private High School. Because Xia Meng couldn't keep up with her studies, I volunteered to help her. I even let Xia Meng use my work to participate in the National Calligraphy and Painting exhibition. I thought that everything I did would make the Xia family recognize me. I never expected that in the end, I got nothing but the disdainful looks from the Xia family. How demeaning. The way I tried to please them just to stay in the Xia family. Really without any upbringing. As expected, coming from a humble family, I just praised her once, and she came running eagerly. She still has some use. President Liu said last time that he wanted an alliance by marriage. After raising her for so many years, she's finally of some use. Isn't President Liu's son a disabled person? In the end, I was married off to a disabled man. His family had numerous mistresses, and the original wife was extremely cruel. She forced me to take tonics to have children. Finally, unable to bear it anymore, I jumped off the building and died. When I hit the ground, the pain of my body being torn seemed to be engraved into my soul. Just thinking about it makes me shudder. In this life, I won't let the tragedy repeat itself. I want to take control of my own destiny. Since I already know what's going to happen, I definitely can't just sit around and wait for disaster. I started packing up the things in my room. Over the years, as a daughter of the Xia family, everything I received was of great value. After thinking it over, I took inventory of all the precious jewels. Since I'm about to leave, some of these are jewelry that only the children of the Xia family are entitled to. I'd better not bring trouble upon myself. Time quickly passed to the afternoon. I saw Father Xia leading a petite girl into the hall. Just like in the previous life, she was wearing shoes of an unknown brand. Although her clothes were not expensive, they were definitely not cheap either. Her face was clean, and she looked gentle and quiet, like a delicate flower. Her skin was fair and delicate, not looking like someone from a poor family. Oh, wait a minute. In the previous life, when Xia Meng came back, she said her family was poor. Her eldest brother was in college, and her second brother was idle. She was often bullied at home. Maybe my gaze was too direct when sizing her up. Father Xia coughed. Xia, this is your sister. She was swapped at birth and has just been found. She didn't have a good life at her previous home. You have to be good to her from now on. Mother Xia, who was beside him, could no longer hold back her emotions and hugged her with teary eyes. Swapped. Dad, tell me the truth. If there's a swap, there must be one who's right and one who's wrong. Now that the right one has come back, does that mean I'm the wrong one? Apparently, Father Xia didn't expect me to think of this so quickly. He didn't know what to say for a moment. Sister, don't push Dad. I really envy you. You can live in such a big house and stay with Mom and Dad. Well, here Xia Meng starts her act. Dad, I just want to say, can I leave now? Since your family is reunited, I have to find my own parents. As soon as I finished speaking, I saw 3 pairs of eyes staring at me. Father Xia, Mother Xia, and Xia Meng. But Xia Meng's family is poor. She can't afford clothes. There are no servants at home to take care of her. She has to do everything by herself. Xia Meng asked first. She seemed a bit flustered. It doesn't matter. I don't mind. Being with my own parents, nothing is a problem. Sister, you wouldn't want to be with your parents while leaving your sister without hers, would you? Can you bear to leave Mom? Mom has raised you for so many years. Although you're not her biological child, her love for you is real. Mother Xia's eyes were full of tears, as if it were a life and death parting. Mom, I'll come back to see you often. As long as you don't dislike me then. If you leave, you'll lose everything of the Xia family. Can you bear it? As a merchant, the Xia family always considers interests in everything. Dad, from the moment I was born until now, I have always been the pride of the family. Whether it's exams, competitions, or interpersonal relationships, I have lived up to the family's investment in me. However, I also know that all these things rightfully belong to Xia Meng. From now on, I will return them to her. Father Xia was about to say something, but I stopped him. I admit that I have received the best of everything in the Xia family, because I was the only daughter of the Xia family. But now things are different. The real daughter of the Xia family has returned, and I understand the situation clearly. If both Meng Meng and I stay in the Xia family simultaneously, there will only be two outcomes. One is that Xia Meng gets better and better while I decline. The other is that I improve while Xia Meng has a hard time adapting and doesn't fare well. The two of us cannot coexist here because everyone knows that from now on, I am just an adopted daughter, merely an adopted daughter. This dispute came to an end after the next page emerged. Paying no attention to the whole scene, and with a look as if seeing a fool, I left the Xia family with my luggage. Fortunately, my biological parents also have the surname Xia, otherwise, I would have to change my surname later. Following the address, I found an old and shabby community. This community was featured on the entertainment headlines of the previous Life newspapers. The headline was about how a superstar from a poor family achieved success step by step through his own efforts. Indeed, my second brother is the guide for me to find my family. It's the East unit on the 3rd floor. I pressed the doorbell, and a refined man wearing glasses opened the door. He should be my dad. The parents of the superstar were on the newspapers in the previous life. Hello, I'm your daughter Xia Xia. Nice to meet you for the first time. Please take care of me. Akin, come quickly and see who's here. The man called out incoherently. A beautiful woman came over, wearing a floral dress with her hair coiled up, looking gentle and generous. Especially, her eyebrows resembled mine by 80%. One could tell at a glance that she was my biological mother. My mother wiped away her tears at the corners of her eyes, seemingly wanting to say something, but holding back. I stood at the door, dragging my luggage, creating a delicate standoff. Mom and Dad, let me in first. A magnetic voice came from behind them. They quickly helped me carry the luggage in. The room was decorated in warm yellow. Right at the entrance was a cute cat scratching mat. Mom brought me a pair of slippers, which seemed new. The living room faced a French window, and the sunlight shone directly on the wall, making the off-white sofa turn orange. There were lovely little cats embroidered on the sofa cushions, looking extremely cozy. I sat on the sofa, sizing up the house. Just then a room door opened. There's no such big villa as you used to live in here. If you don't want to come back, leave now. A teenager with messy hair walked out of the room. His beautiful eyes held some mockery, but this didn't affect his good looks at all. Subconsciously, I took out my phone and clicked. This would be black material in the years to come, hee. The teenager subconsciously cursed and came to snatch my phone. I pinned him down on the sofa, turned my head, and smiled at my stunned parents, then nodded to my eldest brother, who was holding a water cup. Sorry, but this will be my home from now on. If you drive me away again, I'll cry for you to see. Satisfied to see the teenager stunned, I patted my clothes and sat on the small hanging chair on the balcony. I said seriously to the people in the room, I don't care what Xia Meng said about me. I don't dislike this family, nor do I look down on it. I'm very happy to be by my biological parents' side. I hope my eldest and second brothers can accept me. Then I stuck out my tongue and added, even if you don't welcome me, it doesn't matter. After all, we have the same blood flowing in our veins. After this little episode, I successfully moved in. This house is a small 3-bedroom. Mom and Dad have the master bedroom, and the 2 brothers share a secondary bedroom, and I have the other secondary bedroom, which was originally Xia Meng's room. Because they thought I wouldn't come, the room still remained as it was when Xia Meng was here. After I came, they started to tidy up Xia Meng's things. Xia Meng didn't take a single thing of her own in order to go to the Xia family. I heard from Mom and Dad that it was for coming back often to show off in the future. Well, probably to avoid making the Xia family unhappy. After all, the Xia family has everything. But I didn't say anything. I suggested that Mom and Dad pack up Xia Meng's things and send them to the Xia residence, and they readily agreed. At dinner time, Mom and Dad were afraid that I wouldn't get used to the food and suggested going out to eat. But I refused. I ate the dishes cooked by Mom, such as braised carp and potato milk fried spare ribs. I was so happy that I almost cried. Xia Tianfeng, that is my second brother, sneered. What are you pretending for? A rich young lady acting like she's never eaten before. Indeed, I never had a proper meal. In the previous life, after marrying that disabled man, I took care of him every day and could hardly eat. I don't blame Xia Tianfeng for not understanding me. Before in the Xia family, in order to maintain my perfection, I rarely ate my fill. Every meal was a nutritious meal prepared by the family nutritionist. After I calmly finished saying this, I looked up and saw Mom and Dad looking at me with Xinteng. They kept adding food to my bowl. Xia Tianfeng turned his head away and didn't look at me. My eldest brother, Xia Tianhai, ate expressionlessly. Indeed, it's really difficult to win over a business tycoon. I can't choose my birth, but I can choose my future. My eldest brother is a junior this year. He is a favorite of the professors in the Jinlong department at University A and a well-known figure on campus. My second brother is only 2 years older than me. He is a senior in high school, and is repeating his senior year at Qingting High School next to our home. Originally, the parents of the Xia family, in order not to seem too heartless, asked me to continue studying at the original private high school. The annual tuition fee there is extremely high, but I declined politely. Since I want to get back on track, I have to be prepared to work hard. The annual tuition fee of several 100,000 yuan at the private high school. I don't want my biological parents to feel inferior. I have decided to study at Qingtong High School, and have already asked my second brother to go to the school's teaching affairs office to arrange it. As long as I pass the entrance examination, I can enroll smoothly. Looking at my dear mother's worried face, a warm current flowed through my heart. Dad will also take care of me at school. Dad nodded repeatedly beside me, and then we coaxed Mom away from the school. Dad works at Qingtong High School. He is a Chinese teacher for the sophomore year, and also serves as the head teacher. The next day is Monday. After getting dressed neatly, I got into Dad's car to go to school. My second brother, who is studying hard in senior high school, caught up on his sleep beside me. Since getting in the car, I have seen Dad keep looking at me through the rear view mirror. Dad, is there something wrong with the clothes I'm wearing today? At Qingtong High School, there is no need to wear school uniforms. I'm wearing a white short sleeve shirt, blue jeans and canvas shoes. Without makeup, my collagen-filled face is the best makeup. This face almost combines all the advantages of Mom and Dad. It's bright but without any aggressiveness. On the contrary, when I smile, it's easy to gain the favor of others. Xia, I heard that your adoptive parents want you to go back to your original school. The conditions there are top-notch. Meng also said that. Dad. I sat up straight and looked at Dad through the rear view mirror. Indeed, at Shengming, I can get the most comprehensive and best education. But we can't deny the education at Qingtong either. I believe I can study well anywhere. I'm your daughter, and don't want to accept financial support to maintain a ridiculous facade. It's the same wherever I go to school. It's best to be by Mom and Dad's side. I secretly glanced at Dad. His eyelids trembled slightly. I'm sure that Xia Meng has been secretly speaking ill of me again. To avoid suspicion, after arriving at school, I asked my second brother to take me to the teaching affairs office, to find the person in charge to handle the transfer procedures. Although Xia Tianfeng was not very willing, he still resigned himself to leading the way in front. Before reaching the teaching affairs office, I heard one teacher talking to another. Xiao Yang, this transfer student will be placed in your class today. Leader, you know that the student quota in our class has long been exceeded, and ours is the honors class. Can she keep up with the learning progress? She looks like a very pretty girl in the photo. You'd better arrange her in the art class. I see that there are a lot of empty desks in class 5. How can you judge people by their appearance? Can the phrase judge people by their appearance be used like this? I knocked on the door politely, and walked in while introducing myself. Hello teachers. I'm Xia, who came to take the transfer exam today. The two teachers probably didn't expect that what they said was heard by the person involved. The scene was a bit awkward. I had to politely ask, when will the exam start? To break the deadlock, Teacher Wang, who was in charge, took out the test papers that had been prepared long ago. Teacher Xiao Yang took the opportunity to say that he was going back to grade the homework and went out. The test papers were probably specially compiled. There were 3 test papers including Chinese, mathematics, English and comprehensive science, each accounting for a quarter. The number of questions was not large, but the questions were very well designed. They were all typical questions from the textbooks. I finished the questions in an hour and a half. Teacher Wang called Teacher Xiao Yang to come and grade the test papers. No scores were written, but I only saw 1 cross on the 3 test papers. Teacher Xiao Yang looked at me, with an increasingly eager look. Leader, give the student to me. I just remembered that there is still 1 seat in our class, and it's just right for Xia, the classmate. Teacher Wang was speechless. I however smiled. Teacher Xiao Yang is really cute. Public schools really have more human touch than private ones. Before at Shengming, maybe because of my family background, there were a lot of people flattering me, but it was very difficult to see sincere smiles there. While at Qingtong, the classmates are very easy to get along with. There is not so much comparison. The only thing they compare is their studies. This is what students should do. When school was over, as soon as I walked out of the school gate, I saw a figure squatting at the door. No wonder he was so eye-catching. After all, he is my second brother, the future superstar. He immediately stood up when he saw me. Dad is grading homework and asked us to go first. I nodded to show that I knew. Then I saw that he seemed to want to say something. Can you take me to see Meng? I don't know the way. The things I mailed to her should have arrived. I understood, but my heart still felt inexplicably uncomfortable. On the way to the Xia family, the 2 of us didn't say a word in the taxi. Xia Tianfeng probably sensed my unhappiness and was careful not to speak, for fear that I would regret taking him there. The Xia family's villa is in the suburbs of AA City. The greenery here is very good, and the air quality seems to be better than that in the urban area. Xia Tianfeng got out of the car and seemed startled, a bit clumsy. There was some embarrassment on the teenager's face. I kindly pretended not to see it. Fortunately, the doorman was familiar with me and opened the door without asking. When we went in, we happened to see the sanitation garbage truck in the community transporting garbage out. It was piled high. From a distance, we could see the colorful garbage bags on the truck. I noticed Xia Tianfeng's gaze. He stared at the truck for dozens of seconds, and the anticipation on his face for seeing Xia Meng seemed to have decreased a bit. When we arrived in front of the Xia family's villa, I patted him, and he came back to his senses. I asked him to knock on the door and go in. He forced a smile, took out his phone, and sent a message to Xia Meng. After an hour, it was almost dark when Xia Meng finally came out of the villa slowly. Second brother, I'm sorry. Mom just asked me to practice the piano, so I made you wait so long. Xia Meng stuck out her tongue and smiled secretly. When she saw that I was also there, her smile froze. Xia, sister Xia is here too. I nodded in response, not wanting to say much. I just noticed that Xia Tianfeng's expression was a bit strange. Have you received all your things? Mom packed them for you herself. There's your favorite teddy bear, and the dress that big brother bought for you. Before she could finish speaking, she was interrupted. I received them. I asked the servant to put them in my room. I like the teddy bear that second brother gave me the most. I can't sleep at night without it. After Xia Ming said this, she suddenly looked towards the villa, and, before Xia Tianfeng could ask anything else, said that she had to go back to practice the piano, and ran back to the villa. On the way back, Xia Tianfeng kept his head down and remained silent. It was not until the evening that I found out what had happened. It's my habit to go to the toilet before going to bed at night. When I was going back to my room, I suddenly heard an argument in the next room. Xia Tianfeng and Xia Tianhai seemed to be arguing about something. I saw with my own eyes the bag that Mom packed on the garbage truck, but Mingming said she received it. Now that she's a rich young lady, she looks down on us. I really didn't mean to eavesdrop, but Xia Tianfeng's voice was so penetrating, truly worthy of being a future powerful singer. Xia Tianhai was still trying to soothe him continuously. After a while there was no sound. I just said that when we went to the Xia family, why Xia Tianfeng kept staring at the garbage truck. I can probably guess Xia Ming's thoughts. She's afraid that being too close to her biological parents will make the Xia family dislike her. After all, she's still a little girl. The next morning, at the dining table, I was eating the loving breakfast made by Mom. Xia Tianfeng came out of the room with a very bad expression. When he saw that I had finished the millet porridge in the bowl, as if thinking of something, the rich young lady experiencing civilian life, being pretentious. He seemed to have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed. I rolled my eyes at him, and didn't bother to pay attention to him. In a sense, one's life is like playing a role-playing game. Along the way, one battles small monsters and bosses. The things one desires can only be obtained after passing a certain level. On the second day at Qingting, I encountered the first small monster. The senior in front of me said that she was the president of Xia Tianfeng's fan club. Yesterday, someone saw Xia Tianfeng walking very close to me and came to greet me friendly. She asked about our relationship. Remembering Xia Tianfeng's warning to me to conceal our relationship, I smiled sweetly and invited the senior to ask Xia Tianfeng herself. Of course they wouldn't. Xia Tianfeng is a very unruly teenager. Although his academic performance is not good at school, he never skips classes or cuts school, and he never pays attention to the admiration of girls. He is even a bit fierce. However, I really didn't expect the rumors to intensify. It began to spread in the school that Xia Tianfeng and I were in a romantic relationship. In the evening, I told this matter to Mom as a joke. Mom laughed so hard that she covered her stomach, and also told me that when Xia Tianfeng was a child, he was actually mistaken for a girl, and a little boy confessed to him. I smiled merrily, and watched as Xia Tianfeng's face gradually darkened. I had always thought that in a public school, there would be fewer unhealthy trends on campus. But when my homework book went missing for the third time, and I was singled out by teacher Xiao Yang as an example, and made to stand at the back of the classroom, I completely dispelled this idea. Vanity, puppy love, lying and deceiving the teacher. These accusations were forcibly pinned on me. After Dad learned about it, he asked me to go to his office after class to understand the situation. He had seen with his own eyes that I finished my homework every night, but it would always disappear without a trace the next day. He knew that his daughter was not such a person. I told him not to worry about it for the time being. After I walked out of the office door, another rumor spread that I was seducing the teacher. They said that I was arrogant because I had an affair with the teacher, that I didn't do my homework and was seducing. The senior, Xia Tianfeng, said that I transferred to this school because I couldn't get along in my original school. The rumors were vividly described, and even the details of how I seduced were clearly depicted. I knew who was spreading the rumors. The study committee member in our class, a gentle-looking girl wearing glasses. She seemed to be a top student at first glance, and was the teacher's favorite student. I saw with my own eyes that when she handed in the homework, she took out my homework book and put it in her drawer. However, she wasn't very smart. She didn't destroy the homework book. After another conversation with Dad in the office, I decided not to tolerate it anymore. Have you ever heard the most unpleasant words in the world? Before I walked into the classroom, I heard the people inside using the most innocent faces to say the dirtiest words. I faintly heard words like cheap, dirty, and disgusting. I turned around and walked to teacher Xiao Yang's office, asking him to go back to the classroom with me. It was obvious that teacher Xiao Yang paused at the door and then frowned. I walked into the classroom and walked straight towards the study committee member. When she tried to stop me in a panic, I pushed her away and took out 3 homework books at the bottom of the desk. Each one had my name written neatly on it. The classroom fell silent. Everyone was quiet. Only the study committee member, that gentle-looking girl, seemed to be terrified. She looked at teacher Xiao Yang eagerly, but didn't know what to say. Tears streamed down her face. Is it only the crying children who get the candy? What right do you have to cry? I was the one who was misunderstood for not doing my homework, the one who was misunderstood for lying, and the one who was called cheap. If I couldn't bear these rumors and chose to commit suicide, all of you would be accomplices. I looked up and scanned the classroom, my eyes falling on every classmate who had spoken ill of me. You said I was seducing the teacher. Did you ask about our relationship? He's my dad, my biological father. You said I was seducing a senior. He's my older brother. Do I need to seduce him? If you want to know why I transferred schools, why don't you ask me? Is it interesting to slander me based on those rumors? I had always thought that students should focus on their studies. I thought these words were just your jokes, so I didn't care. But I saw that you were using the mouths that were supposed to read books to say the dirtiest words, doing the most inappropriate things in this ivory tower of a school. I heard the soft sobbing of a girl, and some people were whispering sorry. I looked out of the window, and only then noticed that Dad was standing at the window at some point, giving me a thumbs up. There are many disappointments in the world, just like many regrets in my previous life. Fortunately, in this life my family is by my side. This incident caused a huge stir. The school leaders intervened in the investigation. The study committee member confessed the whole story. It turned out that some people in the school often saw me going in and out with Xia Tianfeng. Xia Tianfeng usually came and went alone. When Xia Meng was still in this school before, only Xia Meng could get close to Xia Tianfeng. Now that another person had appeared beside Xia Tianfeng, those who liked Xia Tianfeng began to speculate about our relationship. When I asked why they didn't ask me directly, the study committee member suddenly started stuttering. I asked Meng Meng if you were a relative of Senior Xia. Meng Meng said no, and also said that you had a bad temper. I suddenly understood the reason for this. I thought this matter would pass quickly. Unexpectedly, this video was filmed and put on the internet, gaining quite a bit of popularity. The title was Shocking Speech of a Beautiful High School Student Against Bullying. I looked at the title, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Below were the comments from netizens. At first, they were all serious comments, but soon they veered off topic. People said, well said. Every victim of school bullying should have the courage to resist. To be honest, the little sister is really beautiful. Does the little sister have a boyfriend? Do you think I'm okay? I'm willing to wait for you to grow up. Me too. When I got home, I saw Mom sitting on the sofa with red eyes. As soon as she saw me, tears welled up. It turned out that she had seen this video on the internet. She was both Xingtung and proud. Xia Tianhai also rushed back from school because of this matter, and was sitting beside her, softly comforting her. I suddenly thought of something. Today the classmate who led the whole class to isolate me said. I paused and continued speaking to Xia Tianhai sitting on the sofa. They asked Xia Meng about the relationship between me and second brother. Xia Meng denied it, and also said that I had a bad temper. How could Meng Meng say that? I'm going to call her right now. Mom on the side got anxious first, and picked up her phone to dial. Xia Tianhai's eyes immediately fixed on me, his eyes slightly cold, as if questioning me. This was the first time I felt clear displeasure from this person. Don't talk nonsense without evidence. Meng Meng is in poor health, and has always been very well behaved. When he mentioned Xia Meng, his eyes softened. Your Meng Meng is so good. Why hasn't she come back to see you? Has she ever called you? Looking at Xia Tianhai pursing his lips, I sneered in my heart. Who could be so busy that they don't even have time to make a phone call? You're still thinking about that bit of past sibling affection. Does she care? This sentence seemed to hit Xia Tianhai's sore spot. Do you have any upbringing? Is this how your elders taught you to speak ill of others behind their backs? Looking at Xia Tianhai's slightly ferocious face, he was getting angry at his own biological sister, for someone who had no blood relationship with him. Without warning, my eyes filled with tears. When your precious sister was speaking ill of me in front of you and second brother, did you remind her to have some upbringing? When your sister was speaking ill of me to my classmates, did you ever think about her upbringing? You think that as a rich young lady, she should have lived a life of luxury, but because of an accident, she grew up in an ordinary family. You feel sorry for her, so you're good to her. But what about me? In the Xiao family, I had to learn to dance as soon as I could walk. Every day besides going to class, I had to take classes in piano, flower, arranging, calligraphy, dancing, and even learn cooking. I never had a good night's sleep, and never felt the warmth of family affection. Do you think this is what I wanted? The pent-up emotions of these days erupted at this moment. I almost shouted these words. Don't say that you Xia Tianhai don't want to recognize me as your sister. I really look down on a brother like you who has such hidden motives. Compared to Xia Tianfeng's obvious dislike, your hidden dislike in your heart is even more annoying. Without looking at Xia Tianhai's face, I walked straight towards my room after I finished speaking and locked the door. Tears couldn't stop streaming down my face. Because there was hope in my heart, I felt so sad. For the sake of my family, I would do anything, even if it meant committing murder and arson. After venting that day, I could feel a distinct change in the family atmosphere. Xia Tianhai didn't come home for nearly half a month. I received a gift from Dad, a tablet computer, which seemed to be tailor-made for me. It was just right for me to practice drawing comics. Xia Tianfeng has been acting very strange recently. He doesn't bicker with me anymore. Every day, he looks worried and secretly does something in his room mysterious. One night his door wasn't closed properly. Out of curiosity, I pushed it open and saw that he was sitting on the bed, intently watching a popular talent show. He was so absorbed that he didn't notice me standing behind him. This number 23 is quite handsome. Not as handsome as me, he replied subconsciously. I couldn't help but laugh, puffed. You can also participate. With your looks, there's no problem at all. You're much more handsome than them. Xia Tianfeng looked at me with bright eyes. Really? Then as if thinking of something, he lowered his head. Forget it. Mom and Dad won't agree. I'm a senior in high school this year. If I don't get into college this year, they'll kill me. Looking at his dejected look, I couldn't help but ruffle his hair. I believe you'll become a super duper big star. If you don't become a big star, I'll live stream myself eating shit. Xia Tianfeng lowered his eyes and pushed me out of the door. I could feel that something had changed in his heart. Since I'm a day student, I rest at home every weekend. Because Xia Tianfeng is a senior in high school, he only has one day off almost every half month. But miraculously, today is Saturday and Xia Tianfeng is at home. He excitedly told me that a talent scout had approached him and said they wanted to train him to be a big star. Moreover, it was one of the top entertainment companies in the country, Star Entertainment. Almost all of the top-tier stars in the country, most of the top-tier stars in the country, are from Star Entertainment. I didn't expect Wang Li to act so quickly. Ever since the incident of the garbage truck at the villa and the school bullying incident ended, my relationship with Xia Tianfeng has advanced by leaps and bounds. The age difference between us is not large. He's just a stubborn little fellow. Xia Ming's status in his heart has started to waver. After the video incident last time, a talent scout named Wang Li contacted me. He said that with my face, I was definitely a leading lady type and suitable for the entertainment industry. I casually threw Xia Tianfeng's photo in front of him. As expected, I watched his eyes light up. Finally, we reached an agreement. I asked him to make every effort to make Xia Tianfeng famous. The reason why I was so confident was that in my previous life, I had read the news that Wang Li would become a top-notch talent agent, and Xia Tianfeng would be his ace. Xia Tianfeng somehow managed to persuade mom and dad, making the two parents, who were originally skeptical, let him go to the company to participate in the trainee assessment. Before, two of us went to school, but now it's just me. Life is never short of melodrama and trouble, especially my life. I know this better than anyone. Unconsciously, it has been almost 2 months since I came to Qingting. The midterm exam is approaching. The general study atmosphere is not in the least bit less intense than that of senior high school students. Qingting is a place full of hidden talents. In the last monthly exam, if it hadn't been for my full marks in English, I definitely wouldn't have been able to keep the first place. Looking at the 2-point difference between me and the second-ranked student, I felt the pressure from the bottom of my heart. However, I'm sure I can widen the gap next time. Qingting advocates elite education. Besides academic performance, one has to be outstanding in all other aspects. So originally, every day I not only had to learn textbook knowledge, but also spend a great deal of energy on other things. Now I only need to focus all my energy on my studies. I believe I can quickly widen the gap. When I got home in the evening, I was surprised to see Xia Tianhai at home. When he saw me, he awkwardly touched his nose and wanted to come over. I coldly walked back to my room. Since that time, we haven't spoken to each other once. In the evening, when mom came to my room, I found out the purpose of Xia Tianhai's return home. Xia Ming was going to transfer back to Qingting High School. It was said that it was because she couldn't bear to part with her adoptive parents. Her biological parents saw that she was listless every day, so they discussed letting Xia Ming study at Qingting. Xia Tianhai hoped that I could get along well with Xia Ming. After all, we were both his sisters. Only I, who had stayed in the Xia family, knew that Xia Ming must have been ostracized at Shengming, and had no choice but to transfer back. Mom looked at me worriedly. As long as she doesn't cause trouble for me, I won't bully her. But this is on the premise that she doesn't cause trouble for me. Xia Ming's arrival caused a huge stir in the school. She was picked up and dropped off by a luxury car, which was clearly the demeanor of a rich young lady. But for our class, it didn't have much impact. It was said that when Father Xia took her to register, he asked her to be in class 1, but was rejected by teacher Xiao Yang. He clearly pointed out that Xia Ming's learning progress couldn't keep up with that of the honors class. Finally, Xia Ming reluctantly entered an ordinary class. Although we were in the same school, we were not in the same class, so we seldom met. Occasionally, when I was asking the teacher questions in the office, I would see her come to hand in her homework. Every time, she would glare at me. I was baffled. Unconsciously, the first semester of grade 11 came to an end. After the exam, when I got home, I found that Xia Ming was also there. She came to celebrate Xia Tianfeng's birthday. Xia Tianfeng is truly born for this. Other trainees may remain trainees for years, or even decades. But he was spotted by a well-known online drama director, just half a year after he went there and was hand-picked for the male second role. His acting career is gradually getting on track. Mom cooked a table of delicious dishes. Xia Tianhai also rushed back from school. Xia Ming was happily nestled beside Mom, whispering and occasionally raising her eyebrows to claim her territory. Mom and Dad were afraid that I would be jealous. They would ask me from time to time if I wanted some fruit, or to go and rest first, and come out when second brother came back. Xia Ming was so angry that her face turned green. When Xia Tianfeng got home, it was almost 7 o'clock. To my surprise, Wang Li came with him. When opening the door, he greeted us with a big smile, saying that he was here to freeload. Xia Tianfeng walked into the house first. He was wearing a camel-colored coat, a scarf and a mask. For a moment I didn't recognize him. As soon as he entered the house, a petite figure rushed into his arms. I was the closest and had the privilege to see him stiffen. Second brother, I miss you so much. Xia Tianfeng gently patted her head and didn't say anything. He greeted the people in the room one by one. I went to the kitchen to get the cake. When I came out, they had already sat down at the dining table. Mom and Dad had always been worried about Xia Tianfeng. As soon as they sat down, they couldn't wait to talk to Wang Li. When they heard Wang Li constantly praising how hard-working and talented he was, their eyes were filled with smiles. Xia Tianfeng even started to feel embarrassed. Thanks to Ming Ming for recommending me to Sister Li. Otherwise, I wouldn't have achieved what I have today. Hearing Xia Tianfeng's words, I was full of yihua. Xia Meng looked touched, and Wang Li looked puzzled. The kid is really hard-working. Meng Meng just gave a little help. Wait a minute. Tianfeng, it was your sister who introduced me to you? Isn't your sister Xia Xia? In the ensuing silence, I suddenly understood something. Xia Meng thought that it was Xia Meng, who used the Xia family's connections to help him. And Xia Tianfeng, thinking that the person he called his sister was helping him, naturally assumed that it was Xia Meng who had done everything for him. My heart was filled with nothing but disappointment. I didn't care about what happened later on the birthday. I only knew that later, Xia Tianfeng pulled Xia Meng aside and said something. When Xia Meng returned to the Xia family, her eyes were red. Then Xia Meng transferred back to Xingming. It was said that it was her own request. Just after this incident, I suddenly realized that it might be very difficult for me to have a good relationship with these two people. Anyway, as long as I'm their sister, they won't do anything to me for the sake of our parents. Since the mountain won't come to me, I won't go to the mountain either. I'm giving up. But the world is so strange. The things you least want to care about just keep showing up in front of you, like they're asking for it. After having lunch at the cafeteria at noon, and returning to the classroom, I saw a beautiful gift box on my desk. My eyebrows twitched. This was the 4th time this month. Without even opening it, I picked up the box and walked towards Dad's office. Sure enough, I saw a figure who hadn't left yet. As soon as Xia Tianfeng saw me, he pounced on me like a husky. Xia Xia, do you like the gift Big Brother bought for you? Speaking of this, I really want to bite him. I don't understand and can't comprehend how this Xia Tianfeng, who gives me college entrance exam exercise books every week, has become a popular star. Each exercise book has almost 500 pages. The first 100 pages are exercises, and the last 400 pages are various posters and photos of himself. Since I gave up trying to make the 2 future big shots in the family accept me, I found that they actually became a bit closer to me. After Xia Tianhai started his business, when he occasionally came home for a meal, he would take the initiative to buy some small gifts. Sometimes when having a meal he would suddenly pick up food for me and smile at me, which made me feel creepy. After the college entrance exam, I scored 735 points, and was admitted to the School of Computer Science at University A. When holding the teacher gratitude banquet, I heard that Xia Meng had left. As an art student, she was admitted to the top acting academy in City A. But all of this had nothing to do with me anymore. Standing at the gate of University A, I looked at Xia Tianfeng, who was wearing a baseball cap and a mask and looking around furtively, with a bit of a headache. I told you I could come to register by myself, but Xia Tianfeng insisted on seeing me off. Afraid of being discovered by paparazzi, he acted like a thief all the way. You look even more suspicious like this. I declined the offers of help from seniors who wanted to show me the way. Looking at the small map, I arrived at the dormitory. 2 girls who had come earlier had already started to tidy up. Xia Tianfeng took off his mask and hat, and started to make my bed for me, running up and down, busy all the time. It was September, and the weather was sweltering. There was no air conditioner in the dormitory. Soon, his hair was wet with sweat. The 2 girls were named Zhou Jin and Bai Xinran. They had already tidied up their things, and looked at Xia Tianfeng's face in surprise. Taking the opportunity, I quickly put a hat and a mask on Xia Tianfeng, who had finished tidying up, and sent him out of the school gate. He said goodbye to me reluctantly, and also said that if I had any problems, I could look for Xia Tianhai. The 2 major highlights for freshmen in their first year are not only military training, but also the welcome party. It was said that our welcome party this time was jointly organized with the neighboring film academy, which made the freshmen of the school look forward to it. Even the seniors were secretly preparing. It would be great if they could find a girlfriend or a boyfriend among those handsome men and beautiful women from the film academy. Bai Xinran in our dormitory specially prepared a solo dance for this party. She has been learning classical dance since she was a child. Her waist is slender. When she puts on the dance costume and waves her ink-colored sleeves, she looks like an ancient elf who has traveled through time. She will definitely amaze the audience this time. On the night of the welcome party, when I saw Xia Meng in a dance costume coming towards me surrounded by people, I had a premonition that something was going to go wrong tonight. Meng, is this the fake daughter who usurped your identity for more than 10 years? A girl next to her, trying to curry favor with Xia Meng, said it loudly, which attracted the attention of several people. Xia Meng pursed her lips and smiled softly, seemingly enjoying this feeling. I could tell that her eyes had been surgically enhanced. I don't think she's anything special. Why doesn't she have a program in the party? Could it be that she was cut by the director? These words made Xia Meng and the others laugh. Who are you? As soon as you come, you start talking nonsense. Are you afraid that others don't know you have a mouth? Bai Xinran's mouth was like a machine gun, and it was unstoppable. I stopped her. Xinran, if a dog bites you, do you have to bite it back? Xinran stuck out her tongue. Ignoring the suddenly darkened faces of Xia Meng and the others, she turned around and went to the backstage to get ready for her turn. Accidents always come before plans. When Bai Xinran was waiting backstage, she had an argument with those girls just now and was pushed to the ground. Her ankle was swollen like a steamed bun, and she simply couldn't go on stage. There were only 2 more programs before it was her turn. Just as I was about to find the director to cancel the performance, someone grabbed my hand. Xia, they said that our program has no technical content at all, and is just a bunch of amateurs. They said that's why we're collaborating with their film academy. Together they organized the welcome party. As she spoke, her tears slowly trickled down her cheeks, and her eyes were filled with unwillingness. Fine, I'll help you. Classical dance was almost engraved in my memory. I put on Shinran's clothes, tied a high ponytail, and started stretching and warming up backstage. Just by looking at you, I know I'm not wrong. You must have practiced. Shinran stood on tiptoe beside me, looking proud. Perhaps she's just all show and no substance. A person from the film academy said unconvinced. I held back Shinran, who was about to retort, and looked at Xiaoming, who was watching the show in the crowd. Are you jealous of me? You go to great lengths to get close to me, and spare no effort to cause me some small troubles. You look like a clown. Xiaoming was rendered speechless by my retort. But the next moment, she suddenly burst into tears. If it weren't for you, big brother and second brother wouldn't have drifted away from me. You've usurped my life for 16 years. Why can you live without a care in the world now? Just as I was wondering why she was so agitated, I noticed that Xia Tianhai was standing at the entrance of the waiting room at that moment. I opened my mouth, wanting to explain something. Just then, the announcer at the front stage announced that the next program was mine. Forget it anyway, he never believed me. When I passed by him, I actually heard a soft go for it. The sword dance on the stage was so astonishing that thousands of people in the audience held their breath. According to Shinran's description, I was like an ancient swordsman, stunning the time. In short, it was a stunning debut. Those girls from the film academy, especially Xiaoming, left with extremely ugly expressions. However, this day also brought a lot of trouble. The dancing video was spread on the campus network. In less than half a day, my enrollment information was dug out. Someone specifically posted a thread to select the school belle among this year's freshmen. The name Xia was Huron among the top 3. Photos were attached, which were stills from the dancing video. I received countless friend requests every day, which was extremely annoying. Zhou Jin said this was called a sweet burden. When I went home on the weekend, Mom told me that Xia Tianhai had started a business. He and his classmates had invested in an online game, but the effect was not good. Now that smartphones are so common, they are going to transfer the PC-based online game to a mobile game. In my memory, in the year I died, there was indeed a game called Glory that was very popular. To be fair, Xia Tianhai's investment talent was indeed rare. His success was not accidental. I heard that Xia Tianhai came to the school to look for some high achievers in the computer department who were good at programming and writing game codes. I was somewhat interested in this. For a student in the computer department, it was an extremely rare opportunity to learn from a big shot. Their company also had a campus recruitment. After inquiring with the seniors in the same department at school, I learned that their company's campus recruitment was before the start of the semester and was aimed at juniors and seniors. By the time our group of freshmen arrived, it had just ended. Although I missed it, I still got the recruitment email at that time and decided to send a resume to give it a try. Xia Tianhai's company was called Heian Technology. The company was still small at present and had an office in the University Student Entrepreneurship Center near the school. The person who interviewed me was Jiang Zhe, a senior from the same department before. I'm definitely not getting special treatment. I have a solid foundation in my major. I've seen the major assignments you did in class. Many teachers in our college praised you for your talent. The astonished look on my face amused the senior. Senior Jiang Zhe introduced the basic situation of the company and explained that my main job was to test the functions of the game and then propose modification plans. I readily agreed. I didn't see Xia Tianfeng. Senior Jiang Zhe said that the boss had gone out to seek investment. The investor that Xia Tianhai was looking for turned out to be the Xia Group, and it was Father Xia who came to the company for an inspection in person. That day, the receptionist at the front desk asked for leave due to family matters. Senior Jiang Zhe asked me to act as the face of the company, which actually meant being responsible for serving tea and water when the investors came. When Father Xia saw me, he was also a bit surprised. Xia. When I saw the surprised look in Senior Jiang's eyes, I explained, Senior, this is my adoptive father. Senior Jiang Zhe wanted to say something, but finally swallowed it back. Xia Tianhai is your older brother from that family? He's my big brother. He nodded. I made an excuse that I had something to do and went out. After seeing Father Xia off, Jiang Zhe walked around me. No wonder. How can a girl be so cute and smart? Turns out she's the boss's sister. Why did you come for an interview with this kind of connection? Just tell the boss, and you can come whenever you want. I was watering the flowers, pretending not to hear. What do you mean come whenever I want? As soon as I looked up, I saw Xia Tianhai standing at the entrance of the company. Beside him was Xiaoming, smiling sweetly. Why are you here? Xiaoming's face fell the moment she saw me. Don't worry. I got in through a formal interview. Xiaoming seemed to think of something suddenly. Have you seen Dad? He just left. Seeing her panicked expression, I added, don't worry. I didn't mention the things at the party that made your little minions give me a hard time. Probably afraid that the two of us would conflict. Senior Jiang Zhe made jokes and asked me to help him look at a piece of code, pulling me into the office. When we came out, Xiaoming had already left. The investment was promised to be in place as soon as the game had a prototype. The work in the technology department needed to be stepped up. There were only 6 people in the technology department. They were busy writing code and testing every day, and couldn't stop at all. Finally, it was completed before the date required by the investor. We just waited for the acceptance and the investment to be in place so that we could continue to improve it. The next day, we waited all day, but instead of the technology department of the Xia Group, we waited for the news that the Xia Group was not going to invest. The Xia Group released news that it was going to create an unprecedented game. I looked at the poster image on the official Weibo. It was 80% similar to the picture I drew for our company, Jiang Jia said with a heavy face. This news was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue for us who had worked so hard for so long. It was impossible to perfectly copy all our code, unless there was a leak. How is that possible? We've been writing code in the office these days and Gunbun didn't have time to contact anyone. No, someone went out. The only person who went out every day was me, because I was still a freshman, and basically had to attend classes every day. I came to help when I didn't have classes. My heart skipped a beat. Sure enough, I saw several pairs of eyes looking at me. It can't be Xia Xia. Xia Tianhai stood in front of me. Xia Xia couldn't have done this. Why not? I heard from Jiang Jia that the investor is her adoptive father. The Xia Group is so rich. It's possible that she sold us out to please her adoptive father. Yeah. Why didn't she stay in the Xia Group? Why did she come to our small start-up company? A chair was kicked over. The loud noise silenced everyone. You don't know anything. Xia Xia gave up the identity of the young lady of the Xia family on her own and returned to our home. If she wanted to please President Xia, she could have chosen not to come back and continued to be the rich young lady in the Xia family. Why do you suspect her? This was the first time Xia Tianhai was so angry to defend me. I was stunned. I took out my phone from my bag and opened the photo album. The screen was facing Jiang Jia. Senior, I accidentally took this. Originally, I wanted to save some face for you. But why didn't you cherish it? You even went so far as to throw dirt on me. In the video where Xia Meng and Jiang Jia, I turned on the speaker, and the conversation between Xia Meng asking Jiang Jia to copy the game to a USB drive and frame me could be clearly heard. Jiang Jia was only flustered for a moment, and then immediately calmed down. There's no way. He offered so much. He smiled at the angry people in the office. Oh come on. We're just partners. There's no written contract, just a verbal agreement. And there's no name on the code. Aren't we all here to make money? You can leave. Don't show up in front of me again. Just let him go like this? That piece of code has a problem. It's okay to demonstrate it as a prototype, but if you want to further upgrade it, the requirements for the server are extremely strict. It could crash at any time. Originally, this was to prevent the Xia Group from having other ideas, but it was really used. Don't worry everyone. I'll contact other investors. I definitely won't let everyone's hard work go to waste. Later, Xia Tianfeng found the rival of the Xia Group and demonstrated the perfect game program. After obtaining the investment, the game was released before the Xia Group's game, successfully seizing the market. Heian technology thus quickly entered the public's view. I heard that later Xia Meng came to the company and was driven away by Xia Tianhai. After mom knew about this, she just called her an ungrateful wretch. These were things I couldn't control. The courses in the first year of college were numerous. Besides completing my schoolwork, I spent all my other time learning at Heian Technology. Now the company has expanded in scale and has moved to an office building in the most prosperous block in the city. The departments are complete, and there are enough employees, so there are more things to learn. One day, when I returned to school, as soon as I arrived in front of the department building, I felt that the atmosphere was not right. Xia Xia, don't go back to school today. I'll ask for leave for you from the counselor. Go and look at the post on the school's official website. Someone is spreading rumors. I received a call from Zhou Jin before I even entered. Recalling that when I entered the school, some female classmates were pointing at me. I made a prompt decision to walk out of the school gate, take a taxi and go home. While walking, I logged into the school's official website and found that it had completely exploded. Someone had secretly taken pictures of Xia Tianfeng coming to the school to see me off at the beginning of the semester. In the pictures, Xia Tianfeng looked very reluctant. Because of this, fans inferred that I must have used some underhanded means to force him. Now there were a lot of Xia Tianfeng's fans on campus, surrounding the dormitory building and the teaching building. If I went in, I definitely wouldn't get a good deal. After thinking about it, I forwarded the post to Xia Tianhai. The next second, I received a reply from Xia Tianhai, saying that he had already taken care of it. I was about to call him to ask how he had solved it when Bai Xinran's call came in. Xia Tianfeng posted on Weibo. He said you're his biological sister. So the person who helped you move into the dormitory on the first day of school was really Xia Tianfeng. After getting my affirmative answer, Bai Xinran seemed to be in a frenzy. I helplessly hung up the phone and opened Weibo. The top, ranked trending topic was hashtag Xia Tianfeng's sister hashtag. When I clicked in, it was Xia Tianfeng's Weibo, a cartoon of a family of 5. The situation took a turn for the better. At this time, the post was interpreted as a bunch of daily interactions between siblings. The comment style changed drastically. They're siblings. Why make up some conspiracy theory? I also force my brother to do things he doesn't want to do often when we get along. Big brother knew about this. When the technology department of the company traced the IP of the person who posted the thread, it turned out to be from our college. The only one who could have done this was senior Jiang Jia. The technology department hacked into Jiang Jia's computer and found the chat records between Jiang Jia and Xia Meng. Xia Meng promised Jiang Jia that as long as he made me infamous, he could enter the Xia Group. Xia Tianhai originally didn't plan to pursue Jiangzhe's responsibility for leaking company secrets, but he didn't expect Jiangzhe to remain unrepentant. Heian Technology officially sued him in court. Jiangzhe was originally an egoist. As soon as he received the summons, he confessed everything. He said that everything was instigated by the Xia family. Father Xia gave him money, and Xia Meng promised him entry into the Xia group. After Heian Technology took the lead in launching Glory, all the previous publicity efforts of the Xia group were slapped in the face, which was equivalent to advertising for Heian Technology for free. Father Xia's position in the Xia group was no longer stable. Other major shareholders had long been eyeing his position as the executive director. I heard that Father Xia was going to marry into the family of the president of an investment company to consolidate his position. This was the disabled son of President Liu. I heard that later Xia Meng came to see mom and dad, begging them to help her for the sake of being family for more than 10 years. When mom and dad asked her how to help, she faltered and said, "Let Xia marry him instead of me." Mom was so angry when she heard this that she drove Xia Meng out and told her never to come back again. Looking back on my rebirth, at first, I just wanted to live a good life, a life different from the previous one. But unfortunately, Xia Meng was constantly against me. The ending today was all her own doing. Xia Meng finally got married and lived the painful life I had in my previous life. I knew that my feud with her was completely over. I firmly believe that life will be better tomorrow. The end.